What's everybody? What's up, everybody? Rams fan Drew here, with Week One's recap. This video is gonna be just about the Rams Week One victory, Week One loss. Excuse me. Against the Detroit Lions, and then I will do another one with my Week One reactions to every game. But I just want to start off in a manner. Want to make this reaction video. Um, I don't like to do it on Mondays because I just feel like it's too soon. It's still like it's kind of fresh, and then I kind of wait for the updates and kind of like to see what the coach says and the players say, and like to see what injuries come up and different things like that. So for me, it's I try to wait till like Tuesday or Wednesday. I just was busy yesterday, but definitely looking forward to this one, man. So yeah, let's recap this. Let's recap this, man. So 20-26, lost to the Detroit Lions in overtime. Um, I'm gonna just give you guys my thoughts on the game, what I thought went wrong, what I thought we did right, some of the key things in there, and what I saw, and kind of my reactions to some of the players and some of the performances. So let's start off with the game in general. Game in general started off as a disaster, guys. I mean, what could have went wrong for the Rams went wrong. We knew, and I said that leading up to this game, that like the injury bug was very scary, and a lot of the things we were dealing with. It felt like a lot like the 22 opener um, against the Bills. Just people were dropping like flies, and it didn't look pretty. Um, Started off very slow on offense, and defensively we started off kind of slow too. I just, I mean, it was just pretty bad. I didn't think the Rams were gonna win this game by the second quarter. I was just like, oh man, I just think it's too much to overcome. Too much, things are going on right now. I just didn't really know about it. What we were gonna do, I was just like, we can't protect Stafford for more than 2 seconds. Like it's just pretty bad. But Stafford, man, I don't care what you Lion fans say, what you Lions fans think. Golf did not win that game. The Lions won that game. Golf did not. And Golf is still not a better quarterback than Stafford. Let's just end that debate right here, right now. I don't care if you bring up stats. Oh, they're pretty much equal. Stafford's missed some games. You can be like, oh well, Golf didn't have the team in the first year that Stafford had. It doesn't matter. Stafford is a Hall of Fame quarterback. Stafford, the way his ability to throw, Golf, everything has to go right for him to succeed. That's just how he was with the Rams. I'm not saying he's a bad quarterback. I'm not saying I don't like the guy. I was a fan of him. I wanted the Rams to draft him over Carson Wentz. I was that guy who wanted Golf over Wentz. Um, but I just knew Golf was that type of person that had to have everything go his way. And he showed plenty of times when he was under McVay and the Rams with all the weapons and everything. If things were not going his way, if you pressure him and things just weren't as easy for him to see on the field, he folds. He did that in the Super Bowl against the Patriots. Nothing was going his way. He couldn't find a way to will the Rams. That's why the Rams traded him, because the Rams knew we can be good with Golf every year. We can be close, but Golf's not going to be that guy to take us to the Super Bowl victory. Stafford, everything went wrong in the Super Bowl after Odell went down. He was dealing with third string people, third string tight ends and stuff like that. He found a way. He made it happen for the Rams. He sat there and he did no look passes to get it to Cup to win the Super Bowl. Like, I mean, it's night and day between Stafford and Golf. Stats and win percentages, yeah, you can kind of compare that, but it's night and day when you actually look at the talent, you look at the guys play. Stafford was getting destroyed the whole game, and he still was finding a way to do no look passes. He found a way to just come back in that game to take the lead, not just tie it, but to take the lead. Now, if we didn't have that penalty by our left tackle on that touchdown with Jordan Winnington, we would have won that game, because Detroit would have had to score a touchdown instead of an easy field goal to go into overtime. I don't think they would have. I don't know. I just felt like they were struggling in the red zone at that time, and it was just easier for them to take the field goal. And there was like what, a little bit of time left for us. So I just think that the Rams would have found a way to somehow win that game if we would have. They would have had to score a touchdown, not just a field goal. So That's something that I definitely think was a key part in the game, was a hold on Aiden Hutchinson on that touchdown or reverse play. Um, Obviously could have, would have, should have, but Stafford, what a performance! Cooper Cup is back, which every Rams fan and everybody's been telling people that Cooper Cup was healthy for the first time since 2021. No one believed us. No one believed anybody. They just thought he was washed and had one good year. Well, that's a lie because he didn't have just one good year. That was just the 1 year he really got noticed. But besides that, he's always been an all-star type of receiver. Um, but anyways, Cooper Cup, great performance. Puka Nacua went down with a knee injury. I'll talk about that more later, but um, when he was out there, he looked good. Um, Kobe Parkinson at tight end. Um, what an amazing addition by the Rams. I think him and Higbee are going to be great. Davis Allen is still great, and he looked good at the end of the season. But I didn't expect this from Parkinson. I didn't. I didn't know if we were going to use him much. But he looked really, really comfortable out there. He looked really good. He was making yards after contact. He was a friendly target. It seemed like Stafford really liked him, and I could see Stafford really feeding him the ball as the season progresses and as time goes on. Of course, you know what I mean. But let me fix this mic a little bit. But my bad, my shirt. But yeah, you know what I mean. It's just one of these things where it was a really great performance by Parkinson. Um, Gutsy performance by Kyron Williams. I mean, I thought he was out there running very hard, very physical. I would say I was really shocked about Blake Corum, though. I'm not even gonna lie. Sean McVay was hyping him up all off season. Um, he was stashing him like he was ready to play, and just didn't play him. Now I don't know if it had to do with an offensive line thing. I don't know what it had to do with the protection thing. I don't know what it had to do with the schematic part of it. McVay thinks it's just a schematic part of it, but because he did say, oh, like that's why Tutu wasn't out there as much and whatever. But Tutu's more understandable. McVay's just not really a fan of fast, speedy receivers. I mean, he's kind of proven that in his history. He likes, just those guys who can, get open and are very easy targets. That's why you see Tyler Johnson out there. Again, I want to touch on Tyler Johnson because I feel like I need to touch on that subject. Tyler Johnson should not have surprised anybody but outside of Rams fans. If you're a real Rams fan and follow this team, you know Tyler Johnson's been him. He's filled in the past few seasons here and there. He's been on the practice squad for us. He's been in preseason where he's performed really well. I still think Xavier Smith should have got that spot over him just because I felt like we have a lot of receivers that can do things like he does. And I felt like we needed a returner, but doesn't mean that I meant that I didn't like Tyler Johnson staying. So his performance did not surprise me because he's playing on teams that went to the Super Bowl, especially with the Patriots and everything, and Tom Brady was throwing to him. So if Tom Brady throws to you, it's not just because he's forced to. No, Tom Brady made sure his receivers knew where to be at all times. So great performance by Tyler Johnson. He's gonna have a big role moving forward. Especially, I think Jordan Whittington is going to come in, but we'll talk more about the receiving core after. Um, After I kind of touch on this though, but great individual performances, like I said. Demarcus Robinson looked pretty good. Puka looked good at times. Parkinson, Stafford. Stafford did miss some throws, but had to do with the pressure. But again, like I said, just great performance by the Rams. Um, the way they lost, this is a moral victory. It's not really moral victories in this league, but I think that deserves an award for the performance that they put on. Defensively, I want to talk about the defense. Defensively, great defensive game plan by Chris Shula. Um, Great game plan. I mean, he said it all week. They even said it in the game podcast that he didn't want Amar St. Brown and Sam Laporta to kill the Rams defense. I believe his name is Williamson, the receiver for Detroit who went off. I would take that all day. I'm sorry, Rams fans. I'll take that all day. They struggle to put up 26 points. Okay. The Detroit Lions will have every weapon in the book and probably one of the best offensive lines struggled to sit there and move the ball for most of the game. They had a few drives in the beginning, you know what I mean, whatever. But if Sam Laporta and Amar St. Brown were Sam Laporta and Lamar St. Brown that day, along with Williamson, Detroit ain't winning 26-20. Detroit's winning freaking 50-60-20. So I live and die by that all day. If your third guy is going to beat us rather than your top two, so that's very great. Tre'Davious White locked down Amar St. Brown. Obviously, I didn't check the head-to-head stats, but just for the most part, he was shadowing him. And then obviously he got beat on that double move, which it's kind of hard to blame him. I mean, he's just super fast. I mean, um, yeah, it's just hard to defend that, man. It's just very hard to defend that because either way, you're giving up a big play. If he doesn't break off on that double move, he's catching a 30, 40-yard catch. And then if you fall for that, you're giving up a 50-yard touchdown. So it's kind of hard to play that. That's why it's the hardest position in the league. Couldn't fault him for that. But again, Tre'Davious White had a really good game. Besides that, I thought the defense did a really good job. Cam Curl, Quentin Lake, we're doing a really good job on Sam Laporta. I thought the tackling looked a lot better than it has been in the past with Raheem Morris. So overall, like I said, I mean, I thought the defense did really good. The pass rush looked good. Jared Goff was consistently having to get rid of the ball fast because the defensive line kept pushing the offensive line into him. Brian Young looked amazing. Jared Verse looked good. Jared Verse does need to get a little bit disciplined, but that just comes with time. I mean, he's a rookie. He fell for a lot of the, play actions and zigs and motions and all that stuff because he was just laying people out that didn't have the ball. I was like, jeez. He was laying people out, man. So and they were just running right past him. So I just think he needs to focus more on just being disciplined, but that's going to come with time. Darwin Young did that in the beginning of last year too, so it's going to come with time. One thing I did not like about the defense that I would say is they did look physical. They did look better tackling. Rose Boom and Troy Reader looked a lot better this year, but one of the things that really I can't tell you if it's a fatigue thing or if it's just I don't know what it is to tell you, but I would say to lose in overtime by getting bullied, by getting dog walked, fucking 70 yards for a touchdown. All they did was run the ball down our throats. That right there is unacceptable. The reason why I say that's unacceptable, guys, is because of two things. We're playing the Cardinals and the Niners next. Now, if you're just a Rams fan since 2016, you don't really understand this. But if you're a lifelong Rams fan, or whatever the case may be, Cardinals have James Conner. James Conner is one of the most physical runners in the NFL. The dude has played physical against us and has had 100-yard games against us. I don't look at this team, and I don't know how James Conner does not look at his head coach and say, give me the ball 30 times. I don't believe the Rams can stop me 30 times. The 49ers are after the Cardinals. Not trying to look too ahead. But the 49ers, all they do to the Rams is bully them in the run game and bully them in the pass game. 49ers are not going to do anything special except run the ball a million different times, a million different ways down on us. And then they take their shots here and there. And they do quick passes, and George Kittle and Deebo Samuel and Jennings, all they do is just break our tackles. And just like I said, they just bully us. So I cannot help but look at these next two games and say the Rams are going to get bullied if they don't strap up their chin strap, get their ice bath ready, and fucking play defense. Because defensively, stopping the run has nothing to do with scheme, has nothing to do with players, has nothing to do with none of that. Any coach, if you ever played football, any coach, even I've heard it from NFL coaches and interviews and all kinds of stuff, stopping the run is a will thing. It's not a scheme thing. You have to be willing to sit there and lower your pads, be the lower man, and you have to sit there and beat your guy, and you have to sit there and close those gaps, and you have to sit there and make those tackles, and you have to be physical and to stop the run. We got in more physical this offseason on defense. We got in guys who are not afraid to hit. We got better tacklers. We got everything like that. The Rams are going to be in for their money these next 2 weeks, and if they don't strap up, we will not win these two games, and we will be 0-3. Plain and simple. That should not have ever happened. Jared Goff should have thrown a few passes. We should have never got dog walked like that. I don't know if they look fatigued, they look tired. I don't know what it was, but it's just that cannot happen ever again. So shout out to the Detroit Lions. They they sat there and they just said, "Stop it, stop us if you can, and we don't care." So I definitely am disappointed in the defense in that aspect, but yeah, that just cannot happen again. So, um, like I said, great individual performances by Jared Verse, by Christian Roseboom, Troy Reader, Byron Young, Kobe Turner looked okay, Braden Fisk looked okay, Bobby Brown was pretty bad in this game. Cam Curl did miss 2 tackles, I did see, but besides that, he looked pretty good. Tre'Davious White, Kobe Durant dropped an interception, which can't happen. But overall, I was proud of the Rams defense and how they stepped up. You can see the more discipline, you can see the more physical approach by Chris Shula versus Raheem Morris's defense. So definitely a lot better. Um, Now let's talk about injuries. Puka Nakua, Steve Avila, no boom, all in the IR for at least 4 games. That's good and bad news. The Rams offensive line, they made some additions. We signed somebody, McDonald, off the Eagles practice squad. Read a lot of good reviews about him. A lot of people are high on him. A lot of people thought the Rams got a steal out of that. Um, we also signed one more tackle to the practice squad. Rob Havenstein, Big Rob, should be back this week for practice. He should be back. If not this week, next week. But I think they're going to kind of, I mean, he was practicing all last week, and I just don't think he was just comfortable enough to play. But McVay had hope all week for him, so I can't really imagine him missing this game, especially with how thin we are. So if he comes back, that allows Warren to flip to the left. That allows Joa to sneak back into his left guard position. And fuck, I forgot who our center was. We just drafted him. I mean, I just have a brain fart right now because I'm just going based off of my head. I don't have my computer in front of me. But the offensive line is going to look just a lot better than it did in the third and fourth quarter of the first game of the season. And then if you kind of peek ahead to week 3, we're getting Arlick Jackson back. So getting Arlick Jackson back with Rob Hammerstein, Joa Jackson, Kevin Dotson, we are basically having our first time seeing 4 out of the 5 starters on the field at the same time together, just in time for the Niner game, which is going to be huge. So Rams are getting reinforcements to the offensive line. McVay doesn't feel as worried about this being a 2022 season because we're more equipped for it, which is true. 22, we had a lot more playmakers, but we're lacking depth. This year, we have a lot of depth. The Rams drafted a lot of offensive linemen these last 2 years. Some of the undrafted guys, some of the guys we've already had, Logan Bruss and all that stuff that are developing. So our offensive line's a lot more deeper than it was that year. Um, Also, I think receiver-wise, Puka Nakua is a huge loss, but it's not an overly whelming loss. It's going to allow Jordan Whittington to step in and play receiver. It's going to allow Tyler Johnson to step in and get more reps. Marcus Robinson's already a great number 2 or a great number 3 who's stepping in number 2. And Cooper Kupp's back to his original self. So the Rams receiving corps is just very deep at that position, so it's not going to affect us. And I just think that, Kobe Durant getting injured, tweaking his ankle, I see him out for maybe a few games. The Rams didn't put him in the IR because you can only have so many players on the IR scheduled to return. So I don't think they wanted to waste another spot. So we went ahead and re-signed Ahkello Witherspoon. Great guy. I mean, I thought the Rams should have signed him this offseason. I thought they should have signed him last season. I was like, lock him up. But the Rams went a different route with Tre'Davious White and Darius Williams, but he didn't get the money that he wanted, so he was able to come back on a minimum deal. They haven't yet to announce the deal as far as like the amount we're paying him, but I just think it's a very smart move because now Ahkello Witherspoon, who was very underrated and very not well known, Pro Football Focus had him ranked as a top 5 cornerback last year. The guy was our shutdown corner. The guy was the guy who was shadowing people's best receivers last year for us. So he held his own and he played really freaking well, man. So to have him opposite Tre'Davious White, that's a good, pretty 1-2 combination right there, man. And Ahkello Witherspoon's a big corner too, so he's not a small guy. So that right there is just gonna help us out tremendously against the Cardinals, against the Niners, and everything like that. But I just think that the addition of Ahkello Witherspoon, the Rams, if they can just stay lucky, and what I mean by stay lucky is if the Rams can stay healthy and not just continuously pile up injuries. We have an early bye week this year, guys. I think our bye week is like week 6. Like the Rams have an early bye week, which is great for us because we've had a lot of injuries. So if the Rams can sit there and at least be 3-2 at the bye week, or even 2-3, which isn't overly bad, but I think if they can get to 3-2, which I believe they could very well be 3-2, I think we beat the Cardinals. I think we beat the Bears. Um, I think we can beat the Packers. I think if the Rams can get to 3-2 by the bye week, the rest of the league is fucked. Because when we come back from that bye week, we will have the offensive line that we've been talking about all offseason, which was going to be a killer offensive line, with Steve Avila back at center. Because I think the only reason why they switched him was Joe Jackson was not healthy enough, and it's easier to just put him at center. So Steve Avila will come back after the bye week. Puka Nacua is coming back. Kobe Durant should be back probably before that, but he should be back. And Darius Williams should be back. So the Rams are going to just get literally a star wide receiver back, fully healthy offensive line, okay, with their star young guard slash center. And that secondary that we invested all this money in, all this effort in, just like the offensive line, with additions of Cam Curl, Cam Kitchens, re-signing JJ, Tre'Davious White, re-signing Ahkello Witherspoon, and signing Darius Williams. Like all those reinforcements that the Rams have done on the secondary as well, it's going to show up because now you have Tre'Davious White, Ahkello Witherspoon, Darius Williams, and Kobe Durant as your top 4. That is fucking good. That is a great 4. That is just incredible with already your very well deep safety group. So the Rams, if they could be 3-2 by the bye, the Rams could easily make a very deep run at the postseason, and start to really accumulate wins. The second half of the season schedule is not that difficult. So the Rams are for sure getting challenged in the beginning. Obviously we knew Detroit was going to be a challenge and be a dogfight. Cardinals are going to be a dogfight, and they're not going to be walkovers just like they were previous years. Niners are always the bullies, but we always play them like toe to toe. So, but they are our bullies and our big brothers. So it's like that's going to be a dogfight. Packers, even without Jordan Love, is going to be a dogfight. The Bears are going to be a dogfight. So it's like you're just scratching and clawing with a lot of injuries already and a lot of stuff. So this team is going to be battle tested already early. So if we can be battle tested and still be 3-2 by the bye week, I just feel sorry for the rest of the NFL right there, because then you have your full receiving core healthy, you have your full offensive line healthy, your full secondary healthy. I just think the Rams seriously go out there and they make a run, because even Noble will be back at backup tackle. So um, I just think there's a lot to look forward to. I think we can't really get caught up in week 1, you know what I mean? But definitely there's a lot of positives, a lot of negatives. Um, but I just think that we have to get this victory because we're not guaranteed. I know we hate the Niners. I hate the Niners with a passion, but we're not guaranteed to beat the Niners. So I think we could beat the Niners in week 3, but it's just very hard to beat the Niners, especially early in the season. So there's a potential we're going to go 0-3 if we don't go on the road to Arizona and get a hard-fought victory. So if we can get that going 1-1, that's going to bring some momentum to this team headed into week 3 in the home opener. And it's like, I know Niner fans, oh, we took over your stadium, Levi South, shut the fuck up. You guys wish that was your stadium because your stadium sucks. I don't care what you guys say. Your stadium sucks. You guys have more bandwagons than we fucking do. hands down, you got more bandwagons than we do because I remember I could look up pictures in 2016 and prior and all that stuff like that. Your stadium was not as full. You guys, we had social media, and still, it's not like social media didn't exist back then, the early fucking tens. You know what I mean? You guys never took over stadiums the way you guys do. You guys didn't have Bang Bang Niner Gang fucking songs and all this shit and all these celebrities being Nine. You guys didn't have all that shit. It just barely became popular to be a Niners fan. Not saying you guys didn't have a loyal fan base before, but you did. But you guys were not like a Dodger fan base where it's like you guys were taking over everybody's stadium. You guys barely got that way. So let's just be clear on that. You know what I mean? Let's just be very clear on that. I get it. You guys are gonna outnumber us again in that home opener, but at the end of the day, it doesn't matter because at the end of the day, you guys are literally the fucking Buffalo Bills of the fucking 20s, bro, and the 10s, because you guys literally go to all these Super Bowls and can't win shit. I don't want to hear about, oh, fucking, we have 5 Super Bowls or whatever. If you literally have Super Bowls and the last Super Bowls you've had that you've actually won, say 19 in front of it, get the fuck over it, dude. Get the fuck over it. We're literally in 2025 almost. Get over that shit. Get over that shit. As a Laker fan, I don't fucking sit there and go, oh, man, we got 16. I can only brag about the most recent fucking championship that we won, and it was a bubble championship, and that's very hard to argue. So it's like, but I can't really talk and be like, oh, we got 16 though, even though we're a laughing stock in the league. It's like, come on, you know. So it's like, I get it, you guys fucking win every year, but you guys don't do shit with it. You guys cry at the end of the year, and it's fucking funny to watch. So, you know what I mean. So let's just make that very clear, though. You know, that we're not gonna be a walk in a fucking park. You guys are just gonna go in our stadium and fucking take over and just beat us like that. No, you guys barely beat us last time. Um, so it is what it is. You know what I mean. But either way, I got to see how the Rams look in this game. I got to see what we look at health wise by week 3. Talk about that. But we have to get this win on the road. It really is an early season must win. We have to get that. So division rival, uh, division rival, and everything like that. So we have to get these division wins. We're having 2 early tested games. Good news is we've never lost with the bone uniforms. I think we might have lost maybe once, but we have a hell of a winning record with those bone uniforms. We have a great record under McVay against the Cardinals. Stafford just tears up the Cardinals every time. But let's talk about the Cardinal game real quick. Keys to victory on this one, real quick. Number 1, stop the run, and number 2, get after Kyle Murray. Plain and simple. That's the defensive strategy. Stop the run. You're gonna force Kyle to throw 50 times. I love Kyler Murray. I think he's great, but he's not great when you have him throw 50 times. He's just not that quarterback. So he will give you a ball or two. He will fumble if you continue to hit him. He will throw an interception or two. So Rams have a history of really getting after him. They know how to get after him. Jared Verse and Byron Young are going to have the handful because, yeah, they're going to get after him, but he can also make you miss and he's going to make you earn these sacks. So that's just the key. Honestly, that's just the key. The receiving corps got a lot better this year, but it doesn't scare anybody like that. So just stick to your game. Don't give him no big plays, but stop the run, force Kyler to beat you, and just get after him. Just get after him. Offensively, I think we got to run the ball. I think we can really have our way with this defense. But I don't want us to get too pass heavy either. I want us to run the ball. I want us to go in there, run the ball, take some pressure off the offensive line, and sit there and pick and choose our big plays. But the key to this part of it is just that the Rams have always moved the ball on every team, every defense. But one of the things that I've noticed that between victories and losses is red zone efficiency. If we score more times than we do field goals and when in the red zone, we 90% of the time we win. But when we settle for more field goals than we do touchdowns, Rams have a habit of being either in close games or not being able to close it out. So key to victory for this one, I feel like, is run the ball because that's going to help Stafford in his play action and everything like that, and red zone efficiency. It's that simple against division opponents. But definitely I want to see us go to Arizona, which I'll be there, guys. Shout out, man. You see me out there, man. I'll be out there, do it there with my family, my brother, and everything like that. So I'm looking forward to that. Never been to the Cardinals Stadium. I'm moving to Arizona next year, guys. So I should have a better studio. I just do this out of my garage, but I'm hoping to have like a better studio, so I don't have to just be muscle shirts all the time because it's always hot. So hopefully I'll have a nice, with a better podcast setup. But that'll be like next year. But for the most part, um, good job by the Rams. We have a lot to look forward this season. Just continue to grind, prove the haters wrong. But let's get this week 2 victory, and then let's go from there. But if everything goes good, I think if the Rams can if the Rams can sit there and pull this off at 3-2, I just think that with the momentum of being 3-2 out of the bye, with an extra week of early in the season to heal and to get all those reinforcements back, I just think the Rams can make a serious run in the second half of the season. So, um, but yeah, stay tuned to next video. I will make my picks for week 2 of the season, as well as recap some of the games, just kind of quick thoughts on each game. Um, but yeah, I will do my week 2 picks tomorrow. Um, but other than that, shout out to you guys. Thank you guys. Like, subscribe, share, comment below what you want me to talk about, what you have any questions on. We'll go from there. As always, man, Rams fan Drew, horns up. Thank you guys.